real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I thought I'd bring that back today. I heard I Love LaChan said he hadn't heard it in so long. And the guy said it was okay if I used it. I just brought that back today. Thank y'all for joining me again, wherever you're joining me from. I know I was just on here yesterday. I'm trying to get back on schedule. I have a live stream Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, 9:30 Philippines time. And this week has been hectic with the travel, with the meet and greet. So I'm just getting on schedule. We have a topic. Should you get married in the Philippines or at home? Let's face it. We're getting married over here, guys. And I get a lot of questions about, do I do the K1? Do I do the spousal visa? We'll talk about that a little bit. Whatever it is you want to talk about, put it over here. I can get to it if I can. Shout out to Jacob Tanjay and the NTZ crew. I haven't seen Elliot on here yet. Or Michael Beach of Life. Any new viewers and subscribers that are on here for the first time, welcome. All my old heads, I see Laura, I Love LaChan, Wonders of Life, Derek Casanaras. I know Jeffrey Tatter will be on here, him and Jack, although they're over in Thailand having a ball. The peso is 55.26. A guy asked me that earlier today. So that's it's good. It's great, really. But before we get started on the topic, I was going to do a video on this, but I decided not to. I said, well, I'm going to talk about it live. That way people can't misinterpret what I'm saying. But every foreign man who even thinks about coming to the Philippines needs to read the story about Scott McMahon. MC, capital M-A-H-O-N. He's the American citizen who's living in the Philippines since 2003. But in 2011, he was falsely accused of rape by a woman who was retaliating against him for a child abuse lawsuit that he had filed. Now, there was never any physical evidence that a rape occurred, only her word. As a matter of fact, it was overwhelming evidence showing that he didn't commit the crime. His family was 10 hours away when the crime was allegedly taking place. Now, the woman, she didn't report the crime till 6 months later. This guy spent 5 years in a Philippine prison. Never really was charged. I mean, and then to add insult to injury, when he was acquitted and all the charges dropped, they made him pay over 200,000 pesos in overstay fees, guys. Okay, now remember, he was in prison during that time, so he was physically unable to go to immigration. And the reason I bring this story up, it's not to bash the Filipino government or anything like that. It's to wake you guys up. You coming over here, you're sleepwalking. Man, listen, you're in a whole different country. If you're in the Philippines, there's no speedy trial rights. He had none. He had no due process rights over here. No right to a reasonable bail. So he couldn't get out and help in his own defense. Okay. Several times, more than a dozen occasions, this woman came to him saying, hey, I'll drop the charges in exchange for money, and you dropping the child abuse lawsuit. We need to get our head out of our ass over here. There's too many sugary stories and sugary vlogs on the Philippines when life overseas, man, can get funky. And that's why I tell you the 360. It's too many of us coming over sleepwalking, man. This man was a a law-abiding citizen. Got 2 Filipino children by his girlfriend. Hopefully they're all in America now. But it just goes to show you what can happen over here if we don't be careful. Now, this woman, he filed the lawsuit because she burst in his house with the police looking for her estranged husband, who was a friend of his. Well, it traumatized his son. So he brought charges against her. He said, okay, I'll show you, and went and filed rape charges against him. No evidence of rape ever happened. It didn't happen, guys. Listen, they're going to take her word over yours. So that woman you're sleeping next to right now could turn out to be your worst nightmare. But all y'all want to hear about, what Filipinos like, what they don't like, where can I find a nice Filipino, province or city, and all that bullshit. And here's this man's story. Every single one of you guys is even thinking about coming to the Philippines needs to read his story. I've been heard about it, but I never researched it like I did this time. And it pissed me off. At myself and how stupid I was to just get on a plane and come to a foreign country not knowing anything about it. Certainly not the law. Okay. Doubtful Genius said this must be the reason he changed the theme of the previous title. No, it's just something that a lot of guys have been asking me about here lately. I want to talk about things that are relevant to y'all. But that's my assignment. Every foreign man, even thinking about coming over, needs to read that story, man. It was a tragic case, man. I mean, the UN even got involved. They sent a letter to the Filipino government. It was ignored. They said, look, we're a sovereign country. We'll handle this ourselves. The California Innocence Project got involved. And eventually, after 5 years of rotting over here, okay, he was released. 42 months it took them to even schedule him a trial or even to consider bail because there's no speedy trial rights over here. We don't know that, but we come over here, we're drinking, we trying to be playboys, we're walking around like we own the Philippines. Man, you don't own nothing over here. It could be a nightmare, man. That's not the only story, but this is the story that's kind of it's relevant. It's still relevant, guys, even though it was 7 years ago. Because there's another case that's just as scary as that one that involves some Marines who were falsely accused of rape. So, yeah, guys, get your head out of your ass. You can watch them old sugary videos if you want to. You better know it's a real life over here, and you better know what you're facing. Come over and act like you got some sense. But no, but keep your head on a swivel. It ain't all sunshine and rainbows over here. But go read about his story. I'm surprised they haven't made a documentary on it. A Lifetime special about this. Because it was really a tragedy. Then after all that time, he couldn't even leave the country. They had to pay that money, the overstay fees, man. They slapped him with that. What's up, Earl Teal? Brandon Bonner, what's up, man? Vincent, glad you could stop by, brother. It's a long, long time supporter. Victor Gillen, what's up, Jack? Say good morning, Cal. Marilyn and Booby, miss you guys. Congrats on 50,000, my friend. Well deserved. Hey, Jack, let me take you and your wife out. I'm coming back to Sikihor this week. Maybe we can go to the Ground Zero, man. And let me buy you and Jai lunch. Let me return the favor. Because he took us to the Italian place in Sikihor. Food was good. C Dub says, Cal Roach, what's good? Sending love from the West End of Louisville, the best end. He said, keep it pimping, homie. What's up, W Secret to Success? This guy lives a lifestyle that I could only dream of. His fitness center that he goes to looks better than my house. Sam Champion said, greetings to all who are here. Get married in Virginia, USA. They have a full 2-year annulment period. In the Philippines, it's hard to divorce. Yeah, let's start talking about this, everybody. You know, for the most part, most guys who get married to a Filipino, they either do it one or two ways. They do the K-1 visa and get married in their home country, or they get married over here. And I just want to talk about that, and because a lot of people over here have already done it. They've already done it, so they got a lot of good information they're going to share with us, just like Sam Champion just shared with us. Mike Dorsonville, what's up, brother? Thanks for joining us. RC and Jax, thanks for that super chase. At Brown out in Palawan, welcome to the Philippines. Hope all is well. Love to the fam. Yeah, we had a brown out yesterday for a couple of hours. I was going to do a video on that festival, but man, so many people, man. I get jittery around. I mean, I get dizzy. There's about 1 million people out there. What's up, Jam Silver? Patrick Glenn says, you think Barry Jordan can get married while he's in jail? I don't know Barry Jordan. I don't know who you're talking about. But I'm just saying that be careful, guys, when you come over here or anywhere. I'm not just picking on the Philippines. This guy is just, he's been in the Philippines since 2003. Got arrested in 2011. Languished in prison over 5 years. He was the longest held U.S. citizen in the world at the time, on record. At that time, I don't know if anybody's replaced him or not. Rafael Castillo says, what's the shortest time frame K1 or marriage in the Philippines? Anybody for U.S. citizens down this? Well, it used to be before the pandemic. It used to be the K1 was faster. It was anywhere from 3 to 9 months, really. My son's mother, she got approved in 3 months. We got approved in 6 months, but the visa wasn't officially approved until 22 months. We ran into some problems. It's usually the K1, but they said there was a backlog because of the pandemic. So that's why the marriage might be quicker now. Now, the advantage of the K1 is this. You can bring her over to your country. Well, in America, let me talk about America because I really don't know about these other countries. Let's keep it on America, on my situation. You bring her over. She has 90 days to marry her. So you can kind of still look at her and see how she's going to act, which 90 days is nothing. But you still have 90 days. But you're still going to have money to pay. Because when you come over, you know, you got to apply for the green card. Okay, that's the 2-year green card with restrictions. But in the meantime, they'll give you in about 6 months, after about 5 or 6 months, they'll give you a combo card where she can work and travel. You know, that's once you apply for the green card. And then after that, you apply for the removal of conditions, the 10-year green card. That's more money that you're going to have to pay. And then, of course, if she wants to be a U.S. citizen, you have to pay for that. Now, the spousal visa is different. It takes longer because when she gets here, gets to America, the green card is usually waiting. So there's no delay in her going to work and traveling and all of that. And some people like to do that. Now, he was talking about divorce. Now, that's one of the reasons I married my wife in America. I didn't want to deal with the annulment and all of that for her, not for me. I could go home and file divorce and get a divorce from her. But if she came back to the Philippines, they're still going to show her married. And so she would have to get an annulment. Now, when you're marrying over here, it's an annulment, guys, that they're going to have to get. But now, because I married my wife over there, I meant to say, I'm sorry. because I married her there, she doesn't have to worry about an annulment. I'm sorry. That's the good thing about marrying a Filipina in America. Because I didn't want all that. And you see, I was right. See, we've been separated for 4 years. She could have easily filed for divorce. I already told her I would pay for it. I don't know why she's not doing it. But that's one of the reasons why I did it, because it's easy. Now, you get married over here, it's going to be problems for her on the other end. She can get it done, but it's going to be problems. Now, the cost, I really don't know. He says, Calvin, how can a man avoid that? It is her word against his. Well, see, it's hard. You really can't avoid it because, remember, there's no due process rights over here. So you're guilty until proven innocent. And that's what happened with him. And remember, this lady didn't file charges until 6 months later. Overwhelming evidence that he did not commit the crime. He was 10 hours away with his family when the crime was allegedly taking place. But see, the point of me bringing up the story, Laura, is to tell guys that we really don't know what's going on in these countries we visit. We just beating our chest. Oh, look at me. I'm in the Philippines. I'm in Brazil. We have no clue really what we're facing. You piss off the wrong woman over here, you're going to go to jail for a long, long time. And then they'll release you. And then you're going to have to pay the money, the overstay fees and all of that. But we won't listen, man. So, but I'm going to keep on talking. Maybe it'll get through to somebody. What's up, Beach of Life? Oh, is Elliot here already? And that's why I talk about the stuff, because nobody else is going to talk about it. All they want to do is give you these rainbow stories. Hey, Victor. Yeah, he says a much better deal on the K1. I would say so. But remember, if you want to, a lot of guys get married over here. They want to do it in front of the family, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that, right? Do it in the church. But what you could do, even if you got married in your country, keep it on America. You can come back and do the church wedding. Well, that's what it was trying to do. That's what initially got him cleared, Laura. They figured out it was an extortion attempt. Over a dozen times she came to him. It's documented. Where she was willing to drop the charges if he paid her money. The first time it was 5 million pesos, about $125,000, and to drop the lawsuit that he had. So yeah, it was an extortion attempt. It was a retaliation against him. And according to the court, it was an afterthought. Once she got home and started thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to get him back. Willie Shoemaker says, I got married in the Philippines, then got a divorce in the USA. Now I'm retired, living in the fields, and they would not accept my divorce here in the fields, even though I have all my paper in order from the USA. Yeah, see, thank you, Willie, for sharing this. See, this is what I didn't want to get involved in. I didn't want to go through this, Willie. That's why I got married in America. It's a lot simpler. So, yeah. So he says, oh, so it's difficult for you to get married again. Over here it would be. Not in America. He can do the K1 now. But he's living in the Philippines. So he can't marry again here. No, she didn't go nowhere to jail. I didn't say the lady's name. In the articles, her name is in there. But I didn't say it. I didn't say her name out of respect for her. But I did say Scott McMahon's name because every foreign man even thinking about visiting the Philippines, or even coming overseas, but especially over here, since this is where we are, needs to read his story. It's a tragic story, man. It's going to make you angry. You're going to see what you're up against. Frank Ellis said, don't get married, guys, if you want to live your best life. Yeah, this is for people who are going to get married, Frank, because no matter what you say, they're going to get married. We're going to get married over here. He says, when you coming back for a visit? I haven't made up my mind yet, but I'm coming back. You know, my daughter sent me a picture of her and her two kids yesterday. It made me miss them, man. The little boy looks like me. I'm like, wow. Because I guess because she looks like me. No Tingo De Niro says, Cal, you're definitely correct. Most people are not going to listen. Just like with foreigners getting drugged and robbed in Colombia, people going to do what they want to do. Thank you, No Tingo De Niro, for bringing that up, because a Canadian woman was busted in Manila yesterday with 48.5 million pesos worth of shabu, which is methamphetamine. She had it wrapped in candy wrappers and placed in, trying to make it look like she was bringing candy to the Philippines. I honestly believe this woman they were tipped off about this woman because she was coming from Mexico. But I don't know what enticed. She's 64 years old. I don't know what enticed her to do that. Yeah. See, but here's what I don't think you understand, Laura. They were not a couple. He was friends with her estranged husband. She burst into the house with the police looking for the estranged husband in his house. And it traumatized his son. So he filed a case against her. She retaliated for that. He said, I was married at sea. Do I get a visa in the fields? I don't know. Sam Chambers said, Cal, we got a B1, B2 tourist visit visa for my then fiance to come to the U.S. They will get a 6-month stay. The interview at the U.S. Embassy in Manila is not easy to pass. My wife passed it the first time. Yeah, it's not difficult either. But yeah, you're right. Now, a lot of guys ask me about that tourist visa, and I say, look, I really can't tell you. It's best to let them turn you down. Don't turn yourself down. But what'll happen is they may approve the visa, but she may not get out of the airport unless you're with her. He says that's an issue that you have to deal with. But remember, we get infatuated. Our heads are in a cloud. That's why I wanted to talk about this Scott McMahon case. We need to get our heads out of our ass, guys, when we come over here. Too many of us are sleepwalking over here. You don't know who you're dealing with on the other side. Imagine what this was. This woman, retaliated against him. He spent 5 years in prison, man. And these prisons over here, I wouldn't let Curly spend the night in prison here. He spent 5 years over here. And then they made him pay all that money to get out of the country. I don't know if he can come back to the Philippines or not, or even if he would want to come back. I'm just trying to make the point that you need to know a little bit about the law and how foreigners are treated in the country you're going to visit. But we don't care. We're skirt chasing. We're running behind these women, man. We don't care, and it costs you. Okay, Alpina R says, me and Mines did the K1 visa thing back in 2014 and ended up getting married at the end of it. We still rolling and got one Blasian baby girl out the deal. Yeah, that's what I did. Same year, 2014. Yeah, my video's hanging because I don't know what's going on. I've got great Wi-Fi here. But today it's acting strange. I don't know why. I hope Maryland's not watching it on YouTube. Thank you, because that will make it hang too. But he's probably in the United States. I would hope. But we didn't have a problem passing the visa, the U.S. Embassy um, interview. I mean, it's just they're going to ask you simple stuff. He said, get an attorney if you plan to stay there. It's cheap to pay and retainer. Yeah, but you have to understand, what good is that going to do, Harold Teal, if he didn't even come to, they didn't set him a court date to 42 months later. What good is he had the best attorneys that money could buy. The people, once they heard about his case, he had the same people who got that woman out of trouble in Italy, who got that American who was falsely accused of drugs over in Nicaragua. I mean, he had the best attorneys money could buy. They could not do anything to help him. Like I said, the UN even tried to come to his defense. The Filipino government said, look, we're sovereign. We're a sovereign nation. And, we don't care what y'all talking about. But all of that just wasn't taken into account. The fact that she was trying to extort him, that she had lied to the government and to her family. She was known as a liar. No physical evidence at all, guys, to show a rape occurred. She filed the charges 6 months later. It was only on her dime, only on her word, that they came and arrested this guy, even though there was overwhelming evidence to show he didn't commit the crime. He was 10 hours away when the crime allegedly happened. I'm just telling you this story to wake you up and say, listen, they ain't playing over here. They're not playing in these other countries. But you're not going to know. You over here, you blindfolded. You chasing women. You're in some type of fairy tale over here. And I'm just telling you what can happen. No matter what kind of lawyer he had. And we're not going to bash anybody here. I'm just telling you that this is a heck of a story. You need to read it. Just like when I said, hey, that documentary that I suggested y'all, A Murder in the Family. If you haven't watched that, watch that one. It's going to teach you a lot about, life for a foreigner over here and the chances we take and the risk we run when we come over here. I just felt sorry for him because even when you see his picture, man, he looks like a great guy. Got 2 Filipino kids, See, that's why, when I was going through my false allegations, why I was so angry. Because they treated me like I was guilty. Here these ghost people are throwing these accusations out there, serious accusations of me that I'm exploiting Filipino women and I'm human trafficking. Well, they treated me like that. In immigration, they treated me like that, like I was guilty. Now, remember, it was all women in immigration for some reason. And I'm coming back from Thailand, So I'm just letting you guys in on some pertinent information. Hey, the kosher clinician, thanks for that super chat. He says, I'm a therapist out of North Carolina and a content creator. Would love to do a show about how men should move in the Philippines. Was in the movie Frustrated 3 with Al Grease. Oh, man. He said, would love to do a show about, Oh, you're a content creator. Well, if you want to come on here sometime, man, just let me know. You can come on here Tuesday. Hey, Michael, Beat Your Life, or Jacob Tanjay, Could y'all put my email up? Yeah, he says, I'm really sorry to hear about Marilyn's cousin getting killed. That's terrible. Yeah, I don't know the circumstances, but she told me when I woke up today that he got shot. And it's always usually about money or land or something. They don't play that over here. You know, and you can talk until you blue in the face and you tell guys, hey, you know, this isn't America and England and all those places. It doesn't work the same over here as it does in your country. If you piss off the wrong person over here, they'll just have you killed, man. You know, and he was just outside his house and somebody drove up and killed him and kept going. Hey, No Tingo Dinero, thanks for that super chat. He said, I love your live streams. Great information. Man, thank you, man, for your support. Thank you for joining me. He says, Sam Koskinen. He said, the Philippines is guilty until proven innocent. Last thing you want is to be sharing a prison cell with 30 other Filipinos. Well, there's no due process rights over here. So basically, you are guilty until proven innocent. This guy languished in prison for 42 months before they even considered giving him a bail, before he even had a bail hearing. Then they denied him. So he wasn't even able to help. But there's more like that. Go and read about Daniel Smith, the U.S. Marine who was falsely accused of rape back in 2003, I want to think. No, 2005, 2003. Just Google it. And you'll see, guys, all they have to do is say, hey, is accuse you. And you're guilty, man. So be careful. That's all I'm saying. Just know that that sort of thing happens. And over here, you know, you could be liable for a false accusation over here. There it is, the kosher clinician. He says, the Huckleberry says, the Philippine government is launching a digital nomad visa. By the end of this year, we will be able to apply for one. Yeah, that's great, man, right there. That would be great. And like I said, the reason I love the Philippines is because the Philippines has so much room to grow. A lot of these other countries, they're bursting at the seams, man. They don't have any room to grow. Over here, it's like getting in on the ground floor of a great stock. It's like buying Google and you think I'm joking, or Facebook or Microsoft when it first started, when nobody was listening, when you could probably get it for a song. That's how it is in the Philippines right now. He says, are guns illegal in the Philippines? No, they're not illegal. But no, I didn't. You just showed up late, Elad. I didn't forget about you. I actually said hello to you when we first started, but I didn't see you around. What's up, King Arthur? He says, thanks for the super chat. He says, I'm a little late, but it sounds like something fishy in Denmark. Sorry, the Philippines. Well, it's just their laws. That's all, and we don't know them. It's really nothing against them. It's something against us for not doing our due diligence. We just jump on a plane and come over here and want to just, you know, deep dive into the culture and everything like that, and we really don't know the rules. Let me repeat again, there's no speedy trial rights over here for us. No due process rights. No right to a reasonable bail. So it means you can't even get out and help with your own defense over there. I mean, if you're talking about the cards being stacked against you, my God, they can't get any stacked. They can't get any more stacked than that. Hey, thanks, Bill Mack. Thanks for that super chat. He says, keep the good stuff coming, Cal. Well, I appreciate you, man. I really do. But Ed denies, says, no, it's not illegal, but foreigners can't own a gun over here. And, you can have your girlfriend or wife get a gun, right? But what's going to happen? If you use it, you're still going to be charged. I mean, it's not, they're not the Keystone Cops over here, guys. You find your fingerprints on there, even though you may be, you might be in the right for having defended yourself. You're going to face charges. Hey, Ken McCulkin, thanks for that super sticker. He says, Earl Owen says, oh, yeah, Daniel Smith, I remember that. Now with the U.S. military having access to the Philippines, I hope the command reminds them of this. Yeah, and see, they all went out drinking and stuff. And, the lady was drunk, he was drunk. And now this is a complicated story, but she claimed that he raped her. But the three other guys said that he did. They were acquitted, but he wasn't. He was given 40 years, but the United States government stepped in. And she retracted her story and said she was pressured by, a lot of local officials and stuff like that. Because remember, he was the first U.S. military person prosecuted under that VFA agreement between America and the Philippines. It was deep, man. It was political. And it just shows you, though, what can happen when you put yourself in those type of situations, guys. He just, the guy, Scott McMahon, he just pissed the woman off. That's all he did. And she retaliated like that. So imagine you pissing somebody off and they're going to scream rape, man. And what you going to do? You're going to languish in jail and become a martyr, really. He became a martyr. Laura says, it's best to avoid conflict, smile, be nice, and have quick reflexes. And sometimes that works, huh? Did you do that with the lemon? So what's going on? Where is it? Yeah, I need it. Hey, Harold Till, thanks for that super sticker. Yeah, it was Marine Yell. Now, he was guilty. Okay, they were pissed off at him because he didn't get enough time, they thought. And, I'm an American. And I don't think he got enough time either. He did 5 years and they let him go. He got 10 years because over here they got something called then murder and then homicide is different. They gave him 10 years. He did, it was a day for good behavior. So he did 5 years and they let him out. And the people were pissed off. And rightfully so. Hey, thanks, Tony Savage. He said, great discussion. Thanks for informative subjects. Well, I appreciate you, man. We got to talk about real stuff, man. This ain't no damn game over here when you're traveling overseas, especially you 8,000 miles from home. We have to know what's going on, guys, but we're not, man. We got our head in our ass. We're chasing these women, and we're not thinking about nothing else. That woman you laying next to right now could be your worst nightmare. You better get to know these women who you dealing with. Are they even capable of retaliating like that? Because they're going to take this lady's word. They're going to take that. She filed that case against him. Man. Tank commander. I'm not wishing bad luck on anybody. I'm just saying, be aware of your surroundings, man. Quit. We're sleepwalking over here, man. Mike Dorseyville says, no matter how long you've been in the Philippines, you will always be a foreigner. Always remember, number one, shut the fuck up and mind your own business. Right. And sometimes that's not even enough. But he didn't shut his mouth. He said, hey, you traumatized my son. I'm going to file a case. And then she said, okay, well, I'm going to go one further. I'm going to file a case on you too. And this is a case where her producers, Jack High, trumped his royal flush. Remember I told you the scenarios over here where the woman's producers change the rules on you to marry him. He regulated. But yeah, let's get back to the subject. Should you get married here or should you get married in your home country? I would say your home country. It's going to give you more rights, more than likely, because remember, there's no divorce here. It's annulment. And even if they're going to grant you a divorce in your home country, like Willie Shoemaker, you may want to come back over and get married again, and you're going to have that problem. They won't recognize his divorce. And then the woman's over here, she's stuck unless she's going to meet some sucker that's going to pay for her annulment. That's another thing we have to stop doing. Rescuing these women from their bad decisions. And now you want me to correct that? I'm supposed to sit around and wait for 5 years and spend my hard-earned money on a bad decision you made? No. I was born at night, but not last night. Remember that. Roger T says it would be anywhere. Be kind, otherwise you will. FAFO. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means. Talk to me, guys. Remember, I'm from the old school. We don't know all that stuff. But this guy had been in the Philippines for 8 years, Scott McMahon. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He was, he had 2 children, had a Filipino girlfriend, and all of that. He was doing everything he was supposed to do. Go and look at the story, man. Look at this man's face. You can see he's a good guy. Sometimes people minding your own business, That's why I tell you, man, it's, you just have to be real, real careful. You got to know who you're dealing with over here, man. But I got married in America because I wanted to leave the door open for my wife, which, as you see, after 8.5 years, we separated. We were still in love. We still cared about each other, but it's hard to be 2 places at one time. I couldn't be in the Philippines and America, and she couldn't be in America and the Philippines. It just wasn't going to work. So now she's free to seek a divorce. Why she won't do it, I don't know. I'm going to pay for it. That's the first thing I'm going to do, Gleason Baker, when I get home. Because, after a while, I'm just going to say, okay, I got to do it because I can't afford to move on with that hanging over my head. But that's the reason I got married in America, for that reason. I wanted to leave that door open for her because there's no divorce over here. And that's one of the reasons why, early on, I wanted her to help me with a 13A. After we were separating, she said, no, I'm not going to do that. And I was like, why? She said, because if I do that, if I register my marriage in the Philippines, then I'll have to get an annulment. And see, I didn't know that. Okay, you'll F around and find out. Oh, okay. Hey, thanks for that super chat talk, Barbara. He said, Cal, FAFO means you'll funk around and find out. Yeah. Yeah, you got to have your head on a swivel, but we don't. Our head is in our ass, Frank. We come over here, we're chasing these women. We make the Philippines all about the woman. It's not all about the woman, guys. This is a great place to live. You're going to be involved with women, but it's not all about the woman. We make her the focus and we forget everything else. We put everything else on the side to our detriment. I mean, imagine if this woman, his girlfriend, couldn't even do anything. The man had the best lawyers money could buy. Nothing. He languished in that jail, man. I got to take my hat off to him uh, for what he endured. And he kept the faith. You know, his mother was by his side every step of the way. Keith said, my ex refused to sign the paperwork, so there's a law that you can get a default marriage if she does not sign the papers after 60 days here in Texas. In Kentucky, it's 20 business days. But they don't go by that because when I filed for divorce from my American wife after 18 years, by the way, she refused to accept the paper. She's running from the sheriffs, right? Well, the 20 business days came and passed. And I'm telling my lawyer, I said, hey, man, do something about that, right? He didn't do it. So I said, okay, well, since you're not going to do anything, I'm going back over here to the Philippines. So while I'm over here in the Philippines, then she goes and answers the papers and gets, everything that she wanted out of the divorce. I mean, I'm like, it's unfair, guys. Laura says 10 years married, she gets Social Security from your Social Security. Yeah, and I really don't mind if she did, Laura. We have a son together. And it's not going to come off my check. It's not going to be like they're going to take my money and give it to her. I mean, she was my wife, but it's not going to get to that 10 years. Trust me, I'm going to be back and I'm going to get that divorce. W Secrets to Success Vlog, thanks for that super chat. He said, this story is why I moved the way I do when traveling globally. And here at home in the U.S., everyone is an unknown entity until further notice. Yeah, man, at least at home, you've got, you're innocent until you're proven guilty. They're going to bring that woman in, they're going to do an investigation. The investigation, they did a reverse investigation against him. They didn't consider any of the evidence that would have cleared him from day one. Nor did they consider any of the damning evidence that was coming from her camp. I dropped the charges. Give me 5 million pesos. See, and I don't know if he had 5 million or not. Keith said, Cal, how does it feel being in the Philippines away from the rat race here in America? I can't even describe it, man. It's a feeling I can't describe. I can't wait to get up in the morning. I jump out of bed. It's like it's the freest I've ever been. And I can't even tell you. Jacob Thompson says, clean shave, brother Cal, looking good. Hey, thanks, man. Merlin did this yesterday. Oh, man. Cal, Sam Champion says, Cal, I've got a 50K subscriber milestone award coming to you soon. Man, thank you. Those two plaques, I've got them on the wall in there. I'd show everybody, but they're up there so perfectly, I'm not even going to bother them, Sam. The ones you sent me, he said you should sneak up on them. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to sneak up on all of them. I'm going to tell them I'm coming. He said, what happened to Haitian gunmen? I don't know. He told me to chill. Is this the real Haitian gunman? Well, it's really not that bad over here. He said, what are some things you wish someone would have warned you about before getting involved with a Filipino? it's really not that bad. Country like that. The only problems I've ever had hasn't been with Filipinos, haven't been with the Philippines. It's been with these Americans. See, I wish they'd have warned me that they got these old hating Americans all up in the mix in the Philippines. See, nobody warned me of that. Nobody told me that. That's why I make the videos. I warn y'all about all these haters over here, man. I mean, it's hate over here, guys, that you would not believe. And that's one thing that I wish somebody would have told me about, because I don't have a problem with the Philippines or Filipino people, man. They're warm, they're welcoming. That's true. They don't bother you over here. It's these haters, man, that always, I mean, you don't have to have a YouTube channel. If you see the, Harold Till says, so she lied and walked away free by destroying a man's life. She should get the same years he got. Yeah, I know, but not over here, Harold. It's not going to happen. Read that story, man. That's my assignment for you guys. If you living over here now, if you even thinking about coming over here, you need to read that story. It's several like that, though. It's scary. It'll scare you, man. And it'll make you think like, well, I don't know if I want to deal with these women over here if it's that easy, because it was that easy for her to destroy him. It was very easy. She just showed up and said, hey, he raped me. No evidence at all, just her word. Dude, occurring. And a dozen times this lady come to him, extorting him, hey, give me this amount of money, I drop the charges. Guys, man. He said truth tellers always get hated on. Yeah, but I mean, it's really hate over here from the foreigners, man. And I just wish somebody would have told me, enlightened me about that. Because in the Philippines, you're not going to have any problems like that. You got problems like Scott McMahon had, yeah. Gary Walker said, were you innocent till proven guilty when they charged your door? Did they apologize for mistake? Come on, Cal. No. But see, it was different, though. You got to understand, Gary. They had a search warrant, even though it was false. That's what gave them the right to kick my door in. I was innocent, though. That's why no charges were ever filed against me. I never did one day in court. They kicked my door in erroneously because they had a search warrant signed by a judge. So they were executing the search warrant. See, it's not up to the SWAT team to do the investigation. They just handed instructions. And there was nothing I could do. Under the Patriot Act, I tried to sue. But yeah, I was innocent because I never did a day in jail or anything for that. So yeah, I was innocent. They made a mistake. Yeah, that's what he said. He said 100% biggest trouble you will find in the Philippines is the expats, not the locals. They will turn on you quickly at any sign of success. And they will. And that's what has happened, man. I mean, I get the worst. Imagine this. All the problems I had when I went to NBI, immigration. It's these foreigners, man. They're doing that. Filipinos don't care enough about that. They're going on with their lives. They're trying to make ends meet. They're enjoying their life over here. You got these ignorant people over here, man. I'm telling you guys, man. Yeah, that's what I want to take that back, brother. There is something I wish somebody would have told me about these haters over here. And a lot of them show their face. And that's why I got to say, you guys are crazy. I mean, I'm going to go with Paul on this one. He said, how much, because they hating on that man, Paul and Dumageddon. Y'all can say what y'all want to say about that. This guy did 13 years in the federal pen. His fuse is a whole lot shorter than mine. You're not going to keep on poking him and thinking he's not going to retaliate. That's what he said. He said, well, how much am I supposed to take? You guys keep making these videos about me. I'm striking back. Basically what he did. And that's what he's saying. You know, the guy said, you know, once one of these guys gets slapped in the face, it's going to send a message to all the rest of them. But that's the only lesson I wish I would have learned, because I love it over here, man. I'm treated like a king over here. I've never had it as good as I've got it here. My life is as good. I couldn't have dreamed it being this good before my channel. Okay, I'm telling you, it's paradise. It's, you know, and paradise is subjective. Secret War says, I'm 32. I went to Taiwan for 5 weeks. Because of your advice, I'm now see a path to better living somewhere else. Thank you. Now, I was told that Taiwan is pretty nice. One of my subscribers, he told me, he said, Calvin, I probably would have retired there. He said, but the immigration is so screwed up. And he was telling me about the food, how affordable it is over there. And, you know, it's really a nice place. He said, but the immigration, he said he didn't want to have to make. Tall Barber said, Cal, where do you feel was your best meet and greet thus far? Whereas people enjoyed themselves the most from your perspective? The ones I had here in San Carlos City. But they're really all good, for real, because people come together, they get to meet these people that they never met before. Remember, most expats, we have a lot in common. All you have to do is start talking to an expat and you'll see, like, damn, you know, his story's just like mine. I met 2 guys at this last one in Iloilo. They were the same age, born in the same month. Yeah, but see, he didn't have a chance, Harold. All he did was he filed the case against the lady. Y'all don't understand. There was no conversation. 6 months later, she filed the charges against him. He was somewhere minding his own business. There was no conversation. You know, that's the scary part about it. She just showed up and said he raped me. And then it set the wheels of motion. You know, it set everything in motion over here, man. And it was to his peril. Richard Songer says, I read that story. After he was released, they banned him from overstaying his visa. Crazy story for sure. Yeah, he had to pay over $200,000. They wouldn't waive those charges. Remember, he was in jail on false charges for 5 years. They said we didn't care. It was, I think it was $1,000 for every year. So he ended up having to pay $5,000. But I just tell that story so we can wake up. We're asleep when we get over here. I see it all the time, man. People are sleepwalking. They trust in the wrong people, putting themselves in a bad situations. They got the wrong people around them. Laurie Craver says, I hope I can hear this from the beginning. I got in late. Well, just look up the story of Scott McMahon. MC capital MAHON. Jack Wolfinger says, Sunshine Show, I agree 100%, Cal. Too many foreigners brought their hatred, racist, and political issues with them. Then most of us try to get away from that. Peace to you, my friend. Yeah, see, you're not one of those guys, Jack. You're over here doing exactly what I'm doing. You kick back. You're enjoying the good life that's over here for us. They rolled out the brightest red carpet, but some people just can't. That's not enough for some of us. So they see a guy that they may not like, they may not agree with, but that don't matter to them. Instead of them just keep on scrolling or just minding their own business, they make trouble. Yeah, see, when they hit us, we didn't know what was coming. But I was innocent. That's why I never did one day in jail. They were just serving a search warrant. And that was one of the ways they were defending themselves. Also, the Patriot Act, that qualified immunity. It's a bad boy. You know what I can respect about people in England? They go to law school not to become lawyers, but to know the law. See, most Americans, we don't know the law. And that's why we get ourselves in so much trouble. We don't know the law. Well, it's a mix of both, but really it's just hate. See, there's a difference between hatred and racism, because racism, they don't stop me from doing anything. They're not obstructing me from living my life over here. So it's mostly hate. And it's all different colors. Believe it or not, some of the worst hate I get is from non-white people. They're either black, Hispanic, or something like that. They're not white. But it runs the gamut. It's mostly just hate. It's mostly just jealousy. But racism really has nothing to do with it. We need to understand the definition of racism, guys. Black people aren't racist. We might hate you, but we're not racist. We didn't come up with any type of legislation that would obstruct your movement, your rights, or anything like that, or that would delegate you to a lesser, inferior status. That's racism. Now, discrimination, yeah, but racism, no, guys. We throw these words around, and we don't know what they mean. Jim Crow was racism. If you don't know anything about Jim Crow, read it, look it up, man. That way you'll know racism when you see it. When black people had to come through the back door in a restaurant, some of the top entertainers in the whole damn world couldn't even eat or swim, certainly couldn't stay in the hotels in the day. That's racism. Okay? Because you hate me don't mean you're racist. You're just a hater. Hey, Mr. Ringo, thanks for that super chat. He said, hey, Cal, so many Filipinos can falsely accuse you of anything and there's no consequence for them. Well, there hasn't been any. As a matter of fact, the lady that accused Daniel Smith, she eventually got a visa to the United States. Does the same thing apply when they accuse each other as well, or only if you're a foreigner? Well, I'm probably going to say the same, because there's no speedy trial rights here. So you may languish in prison, and go on YouTube. They've got videos and documentaries about the prison system here, the court system here. They go in a lot of detail, but they'll say, hey, some of these guys, they're in jail for 10 years when they finally go to trial. 10 years. And then they might get 6 years on the charge. And then they're let out. Yeah. So I would say both ways, There's no due process, guys. That's scary over here. I faced it, guys, over here. Yeah, there's a hospital near me. We've got San Carlos Doctors Hospital. It's like a regional hospital. I think if I was having a heart attack, they would stabilize me and send me to Bacolod, I'm sure, 2 hours away. Frank Ellis says, it seems like the raw facts due to disappear. They are eventually going to disappear, man. You know them hate channels, they can't last, guys. People get tired of that. If I'm coming to the Philippines, why would I want to punch on a hate channel or a troll channel for? You're not going to get any information that's going to help you. So, yeah. What would eventually they're going to go down? That's why I don't understand these guys. I see Andy Omar trying to warm back up. I see where he made a video about me. He don't know, man. He better cool his heels. He had disappeared when Tim K walked up on him. These guys are stupid, man. But they don't last, really. They got their own little sick followers that go along with them. They sit back on the couch. They don't go nowhere. They're losers, really. Have you ever seen a winner with a troll channel? I haven't. He says, hey, Brother Cal, aloha. I'll be in Ormond City, lady, in 3 weeks. Can't wait. I'm hoping to meet you and friends in your meet and greet events. Aloha. You're going to like Ormond City. It's the safest city in the Philippines, crime-wise. Population of 230,000 people has the lowest incident of crime in all the Philippines. Raymond Walker says, I got the same thing growing up because I'm biracial. Most of the hate came from black people. I got called all kinds of names. Yeah, but racism is totally different. Being hateful, yeah. Koufax, 174, multiple murders in the Bay Area, San Francisco, Oakland every day. It's more dangerous. Yeah, but most of the time it's the bad guys killing the bad guys. Let's face it. You know, all life is sacred to me, but you know, when we throw stuff out there like that, it's not like, you know, yeah, it is dangerous. Let me take that back. It is innocent people being killed because you got these mass murderers going around. It was just one the other day. I was showing Maryland. Where was that? Well, I think 5 people were killed or something. It's so many happened over there that you really don't know. But we're not talking about how dangerous it is. We're talking about how unfair it is that this guy got accused of rape. No evidence that a rape occurred. It's actually 6 months later when she decided to charge him. Only on her word. Overwhelming evidence showing he didn't commit the crime. He's 10 hours away. They took none of that into account. It was only her name. He languished in jail for 42 months before a trial was even set, before bail was even considered. Then they turned him down. Yeah. The troll channels, they don't last because they have no value. They have no value. They always try how much expose somebody. Really, who died and left you in charge? This is what pisses me off with people. I'm going to save the Filipino people from Sunshine's shoulders. Yeah, when all your content is nothing but disrespecting the Filipino people. I'm just saying, who died and left Americans in control and in charge? I don't know. Keith says, over here, the justice system is so imbalanced, it's ridiculous. But at least you have the right to a speedy trial. You know, I don't want to spend 5 years in jail and then they finally look at the evidence and say, oh, this is bogus. Let this man out of jail. And by the way, you owe us 200,000 pesos before you can leave the country. That's scary, man. But we don't even want to hear about it. Guys always telling me, oh, you're so negative now. No, I'm not negative. I'm just telling you the other side of the coin. Okay? You can't come over here and be in a damn fairy tale all the time. Most of the time, yeah, but at least you want to know the 360. He said, I just got through reading that story. A cold MF woman, man. Boy, damn. They seriously need to upgrade their justice system a bit. But see, I'm not here to talk about their justice system. I'm here to talk about us and what situation you can find yourself into. This isn't a knock on the Philippines because this is the Philippines. Remember, we're guests over here. But I want y'all to know what's going on over here. It's all kind of stuff that go on, but no one ever tells you about it. Okay, they're too busy telling you, oh, what a Filipino likes. How to find the best Filipino. I'm like, stupid fool, quit making videos like that. We know where they are. You know, we know what they like. They like a man with some damn money. Oh, the age gap. The age gap. It's been around for centuries over here. Even my landlord in Siquijor Island has got a beautiful wife well, girlfriend. He's 66. I think she's like 38 or something. If you got money over here, you can do it. It's just not, this not Americans. This is not foreigners. I mean, men are men. We love attractive, nice-looking women. I don't give a damn how old you are. But that's all they're going to do. Do you want a Filipino from the province or the city? Gives a damn. This is not a woman I can trust. He says, true, yeah, we're not going to change the Philippines. And it's not what I'm talking about. I'm telling you the story of Scott McMahon, Daniel Smith, and guys like that who were falsely accused, who there is no due process, guys, over here. Just remember that. Because, you know, we come over here and we think, oh, we're still in America. I can do this woman any kind of way. Yeah, and the minute that you do, here she comes with some charges on you. And you're going to spend some time in jail. Be careful, man. He says, is there a lawyer program to pay in case I get in a bad route? And you're going to pay with your ass. That's what you're going to pay. Just know who you're dealing with over here. But we don't do it. The minute we get off the plane, we move them in. We buy them engagement rings. We do all kind of stuff like we've been knowing them for years. We don't know anything about their background. Nothing. We don't even take the time. We don't even ask questions. We're afraid to ask them questions, afraid that it's going to rattle her cage and we're going to miss out on the best thing we ever had. It's not the best thing you ever had. You know, you better be looking out for yourself because they certainly do. How many times I got to tell you the story about the guy, the black guy, brother comes over here, 12 million. He's sending over here, working hard, a great guy. I met him. One of the nicest guys I've ever met in the Philippines. But he trusted his woman, sent all that money over here to her to get things together. She didn't do it right. So he just asked one little simple question. Hey, let's sell that piece of land right there so that we can finish the house. Nope, I'm not selling nothing. Who's going to take care of me and my kids when you die? Meanwhile, they're not married. The kids aren't his. We have to stop that, guys. You know, see, they practice self-preservation over here. We don't. See, we're always thinking about somebody else. She's thinking about her and her kids. That's what she told him. I'm not going to do it. Who's going to take care of me and my kids when you die? Man, crazy. But no matter how many times you talk about it and you say something, you don't do it. At least, you know, if you're going to go through that and put yourself through that, at least marry the woman then. And you might have a chance in hell. Okay? Kofax 174 said, do you think the 40-year age gap relationships works there? Some of them do. You know, now, you don't ever know what's going on behind closed doors, but they damn sure look like they working in public. That's what that's just what I know. I'm not in their house with them. But when they're out here in public, it seems like they really, I mean, if a guy, okay, Jack is 60 and his wife is 23, I think. And they look like they get along well. But like I said, I don't know behind closed doors, but they look like they've got a good relationship. Secret War said, could you briefly cover the best way to get boots on the ground? Like, did you stay a week, once a year? What did those 13 plus years look like for you? Thank you. When I first came over, I did 2 weeks. And I met a gentleman from Austria. He said, hey, guy, you're going to get addicted to this place. He said, but I'm going to tell you, you coming from so far away, if I couldn't stay more than 6 weeks, I wouldn't come. This is what he told me. So I'm like, 6 weeks? I can't stay 6 weeks over here. And I put that in my mind. Well, hell, the very next time I came back, it was 3 weeks, a couple of times, then 2 months, 6 months, 13 months. The way to get over here, basically, you got to have some type of passive income, Secret Wars, but as I say before, you got to get to know as much as you can about the people and the culture, as much as you can, as much they're going to allow you to. But it doesn't really take long for you to realize, man, this is a really great place, because they don't bother you. That's the number one thing. They'll let you come over here and set up in their country as long as you respect the laws, respect the people and the culture. And it's like you were born here, literally. That's what my 14 plus years look like. It only got to the point of me staying here, boots on the ground, is when I had that passive income coming in. Other than that, you ain't got nothing coming, man. Unless you got a tremendous amount of money. If you're close to getting if you're 50 and you got a 500,000 in a 401k or something like that. Okay. But that's what got me boots on the ground over here was my passive income. When I came over here, it was about somewhere in between 1,900 and 2,000 per month. It's went down. It's about 1,400 now because people die and people change plans and stuff like that. I'm not getting a pension. I'm getting renewals from my insurance book of business. Alpina R says you got to put them through a background check like they do you, third degree. But this is what we don't do, Alpina R. We're afraid to even ask them. How many men you been with before? Have you ever been with a foreigner before? Do you have a college degree? Or why didn't you go to college? How much money do you earn? She's going to ask you all of that. But we won't. We won't ask nothing. We just ask those little surface questions. You Dirty Puppy says, we all have age opinions on the age gap myth in the Philippines. Yeah, a guy made a great point, Paul, when he was talking about that age gap thing. He said when a woman gets 30, now I'm not saying I'm agreeing with him. I'm just saying that he's right about when a woman gets 30 and over here. She's grown enough, really, to make that type of decision. They're a whole lot more mature than you say. I'm talking about, on the up and up. I'm not saying, you may have the exception, but I'm just saying overall, if I'm 70, I could have a 30-year-old woman over here. But a 20-year-old woman, I don't think it would work. But a 30-year-old woman, yeah, I think that could possibly work. Anybody 30 and up. Ragdown Rock says, South Dakota Bottle Prison is most overcrowded in the world. Be careful, like Calvin says. Yeah, I saw that. I think I saw that on the worst prisons in the world. Roger T says, sometimes you have to ask yourself, is this worth the rest of my life before you do something dumb? Yeah. Now, this guy didn't do anything dumb. He didn't do anything, as a matter of fact. All he did was file the case against the lady. That's all he did. But I think the age gap thing is a myth. I think it is. Because most of the people who come over here and get involved with a woman, there's an age gap somewhere. I would say 20 years is about what's normal, 20 years and more. That's the norm. That's usually the rule. I'm 19 years older than Marilyn, because her birthday's in May and mine's is, hers is May the 8th, mine's is May the 28th. So it'll be 18 and then it'll go back to 19 years. But that's good, Now in America, would that be acceptable? No. Even though the woman's 41, they're going to say, what are you doing with that old man? And then they always say, oh, old men are nasty and all of this, right? The Anonymous Network says, having a lawyer on retainer should be on every expat's must-do list. You just never know what's around the corner. Appreciate your content, Cal. Yeah, but in his case, he didn't. He had the best lawyers money could buy. There's nothing that the lawyer can do, especially when you don't have the right to a reasonable bail. They did not, this guy had the best lawyer, man. I can't say this over and over. It was 42 months later that his case even was brought up. And then they considered him for bail. Okay? But guess what? They denied the bail. So he was unable to participate in his own defense. So you can have the best lawyer, guys. It just, when you got the card stacked against you like this, let me read it again. No speedy trial rights over here. You may languish in jail for 10 years before your case comes up. Delay after delay after delay. Okay. No due process rights over here. You're guilty to proven innocent. No right to a reasonable trial. So you can't even participate in your own defense. So you can't come forward and say, hey, look, I was 10 hours away. And this woman's already, approached me over a dozen times asking for money and she'll drop the charges. None of that was considered. Once he got a trial and then the United Nations and everybody started putting pressure, he went to trial and they acquitted him. They had no choice but to acquit him once the facts were made, once they were made aware of the facts. But it took them 5 years to do that. Hey, Sperling Edwards, thanks for that super chat. He said, hey, big guy, great show today. Thank you. I appreciate you, man. I was looking for you at the meet and greet. Yeah, you got to vet them, but they won't. And they'll say they're going to vet them, but they're not going to do it. They see this beautiful, attractive young lady and say, I ain't going to do anything to rock the boat. Here I am, I'm 63, I'm sloppy. I should be happy that this woman's even giving me the time of day. So you basically just, being a doormat and letting her walk over top of you. And then when it's all said and done, you want to blame the woman. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to ask you straight up. Fresh Lord says, Brother Cal, you speak the truth. We need to be careful with Filipinos. I've always said, if there's no enemy within, then the enemy outside would do no harm. Us men need to possess inner strength first. Yeah, you're saying a lot right there. They have to be, okay, remember, they're practicing self-preservation. We're not. For some reason, when we come over here, we don't do it. We put them on the pedestal. It's all about them. We're going to look after their best interest first before your own. You're 8,000 miles from home. If you go broke, they can't help you. It's not because they don't want to. They can't help you. Okay. So until you're able to flip that back to where it goes and be able to say no sometime and say, you know what? I got to get home, lady. I got to put my interest first. Okay, the guy who spent $12 million, okay, he could have spent a fourth of that to take that lady to a level she never even dreamed about. But we coming over here, we're not thinking in terms of the peso, we're thinking in terms of the dollar. And that's what screws us up. That's why I did the video today. This guy that messaged me today, he wrote me an email. He's looking for me to co-sign him to spending money on this woman. I'm not going to do it. Look, guy, you better be thinking about yourself. Quit coming over and trying to impress these women. It doesn't take a whole lot for you to impress them. Most of the time, they want to just make sure you're somebody they can trust. Okay? Somebody that they can lay next to and don't have to worry about being beat up and abused and all of that. It is a version of that. He's probably going to be on that show, but they certainly should do a documentary on him. They certainly should do a documentary on this guy. I'm sure somebody approached him. So many people could learn so much from him. Raymond Walker said, just take that situation as a warning Getting involved with the wrong woman can have drastic consequences. Take it slow. I've been with my Filipino for years now, but we took it slow at first. Yeah, this is the right way to do it, but who's going to listen to that, Raymond? Nobody listens to that. We're thinking, oh, she's different and all of that, right? Calvin don't know what he's talking about. I'm older than him. But some guy sent me a long diatribe yesterday talking about, he earns more money than me. He comes from a different background than me. So I can't tell him nothing. I'm saying, look, guy, I'm not trying to tell you anything. I'm telling you what I'm living, what I'm seeing, what I'm experiencing. And that's what happens. They look at me like, oh, you can't tell me nothing. I know what to do when I get over there. Okay. And that's what happens. But he said the worst enemy is to a hungry man is himself. We're our worst enemy. King Arthur said hate and racism is like a cancer. No one is born a racist or hate. It's taught. It is. But we have to know the difference between, we can't call everybody a racist when basically they're haters, really. It's the difference between hate and racism. And racism is deep, man. It's in the fabric of America. It's the most racist country that's ever existed. I mean, for years upon years, centuries, it's practiced racism. But then if you say, "Oh, America's racist," people want to come to the defense and say, "No, they get offense to that." White people, especially my white friends, if I say America's racist, they get mad. They'll start defending America. I'm like, dude, do you even know the history of America, your country that you love so much? I'm not calling you a racist. I'm calling the American government racist because they are. If I told a lie for 400 years, wouldn't you call me a liar? Oh, just because I tell the truth one time, now all of a sudden, I'm not a liar? Come on, guys. America's racist. I'm not ashamed to say it. But it's still a great country, but it's racist. That's just the truth. Do y'all know anything about Jim Crow? We ain't going to talk about slavery because y'all say, oh, it's too far back. Well, Jim Crow's not. Okay? And now they're talking about affirmative action and all that over there. I don't want to bring that on my channel, but sometimes you guys have to use this as a teaching lesson. Why do you think there was even a need for affirmative action? Black people have been telling you for the longest that color shouldn't matter. You wasn't listening to us. Now all of a sudden, when a few of y'all get affected, it matters. We've been telling y'all for all this time, why don't you reward people of their own merit? You didn't listen. So now, hey, we need affirmative action, and it still isn't going to level the playing field. They did nothing. But what about the legacy admissions and all that stuff? Come on, guys. Let's don't bring that on my channel, but you have to know the difference. America's racist, okay? And it's been that way my whole life. I'm 60 years old, and that's why I left. Okay, that's the number one reason I left. I'm tired of being passed over for jobs and all that stuff like that for the color of my skin. That's junk science. There's no proof that your color has anything to do with your intelligence and your ability and capability. So come on, guys. They're not listening. Hey, Hal, what's going on? It's a Cal, great show. I'm currently back in the Philippines in Paranaque City and closed my second condominium here. Wow. Best value. Yeah. Now, see, he's doing something. But we were talking about that the other day about condominiums. What I don't like about condominiums here, okay, they're expensive, number one. But number two, the maintenance. After about 5 or 10 years, man, you see the wear and tear. You're like, well, damn, can I even get my money back from what I paid for it? I mean, the tiles is missing out of the hallway and the concrete is cracking and peeling and, you know, no, that's nothing, dude. 7 years is nothing. It hasn't changed. More than 7 years. Like that, ask him, does that matter? The story of Scott was more than 7 years. Do you think things have changed? Now, no, they haven't changed their constitution. There's people languishing in jail right now, waiting for their trial. You think they're going to change their system because of one American got caught up in the system? This is the Philippines. They can do whatever they want to do over here. I'm just trying to wake you guys up that this isn't America. This isn't Britain, France, and all those places. It doesn't work the same way over here as it does at home, but y'all won't listen. You think everything's the same here. Well, the justice system's not. And you can believe me if you want to or not. Hey, Rand, the Eating Warrior, thanks for that super chat. He said, I just got back from 2 weeks in Manila. I had a blast, saw some historical sites, met a nice girl. Just what I needed after my divorce. I'm now more motivated to get the ball rolling with making my move to the Philippines. Man, thank you for this. Because this is what we were trying to tell Scott yesterday. Now, how long has it been since you got divorced? Because life has to go on. You know, grieve, guys. I say grieve. But then move on. Don't stay hung up in there because that's when you're going to do something crazy. I'm so glad that I had some good people around me because I was this close to snapping. I would have been on Snapped because I was this close from snapping. She was doing everything to turn my screws, man. I was ready to go off. You know. Yeah, I'm glad he enjoyed it. Yeah, sometimes it's just what you need, whether it's the Philippines or somewhere else. You just need a new environment. I didn't say that. The psychologists say it. A new environment could be all the difference in the world. Where you are now may not be conducive to your well-being. But you're just sitting there because you don't know any better. You're afraid to do anything different. And you just get worse and worse and worse. He says it's the same way in Mexico. You're presumed guilty until proven innocent. That's terrible, man. It really is terrible. Because it's easy for us to say about, imagine all the nights, 5 years, man, that's a long time over here. You know you didn't do nothing. You're away from your woman. You're away from your kids. You know, they get visits and stuff. You're in prison for something you didn't do. Does anybody have any? I've got one subscriber over here now. He's going to college on a visa, but he didn't tell me the process. I think you have to be accepted into the college first. Mark says, back to what you were talking about, just because a foreigner has a Filipino girlfriend doesn't entitle her to your money. You have to know your limits and get her to understand this. Yeah, you need to know your limits, but you also need to know her. I think that's our biggest mistake. We don't know these women, man. We have no idea who these women are we're dealing with. We're taking them literally on face value. Just watching, just looking at them. We have no idea what life really is like over here, what they've been through. There's no telling, man. You know, they say 1 out of 4 Filipino women have been abused. I didn't say it. You know, it's a lot of stuff you could look up and be like, okay, well, who am I even with over here? Why are you even, the first question you should ask a Filipino, because I think it's very important, is why are you even looking for a foreigner? You may think you know, but I mean, you really need to know, like, why are you online? all these nice looking men over here, you know, and they're going to give you that general answer. They're going to say, oh, I'm tired of Filipino men. No, you got to do better than that. You got to go a little deeper than that. There's another reason. You just be honest with me. Ryan, the Eating Warrior, thanks for that super chat. He says, it's been about a year now since the divorce. I just needed to relax and reset after everything was finished. I hear you, man. And that's just life, man. When you're going through this stuff, you're not listening to anybody. You're not hearing anybody, man. It hurts. You know, you if you're anything like me, you up late at night, you're just wondering who she's with. Just the craziest stuff goes through your mind, you know. Everything she likes to do, so you can see her doing that with some other man. You're jealous. He's got her attention now. You don't. You feel abandoned, you know. But, you know, we make it 10 times worse than what it really is. But there's always the light at the end of the tunnel. Just walk toward the light, man. That's all I tell people, man. Go on and grieve. Every day you wake up, man, it's just going to be less of a sting, you know. It's like when my mother died. I still miss my mother, but time took away the sting. It don't hurt as much as it did. I didn't want to leave the house, man. Every night I dreamt about my mother. Yeah, Rico. He said, you got to realize the earth is your turf. Don't stay stuck on an American dime. And most Americans, we're discouraged from traveling outside the country. That's why we don't do it. So we'll travel to Florida, Las Vegas, where? California. Where are the other in those countries close by? Ninth House Aries says, hey, interesting conversationalist. Is a 100 square meter lot cheap at 27 US? Yeah, but it depends on where it is. But I would say it is. I would say that's a good price for a lot. That would be about a little bit over 100,000, about 103,000 pesos for 100 square lot, especially if it's in the city proper. Where is it? That has a lot to do with it. Is it cleared already, or is it coconut trees? I mean, a bush and all of that. Oh, the poor man's passport guy. Thanks for that super chat. He said $2.99 for two peso cup of coffee. That's funny, man. Hey, Xavier, what's up, brother? I want to show y'all his album. This guy's a singer, man. He said, I see you laying it down once again. They may not want it, but I know you're going to give it to them. Yeah, the real nitty gritty. It's essential, man. You know, there's too many sugar channels out there. They talk about the same stuff over and over, and I get it, man. They're new channels. They have to give y'all that stuff. You know, what I did wrong when I came to the Philippines, what I did right, the pros and cons of the Philippines, you know. But at some point, you really got to get below the surface and, you know, tell a lot of these guys about the warning signs. Because a lot of these women are going to blow up on you, man. A lot of these dating sites are going to blow up on you. Now you want to know, what am I supposed to do now? Yeah, it is location. No, we're just, okay, I always got a topic, Yo Joe, but this is your live stream, so I'm going by what the people are saying over here. If you want to talk about shit I'll marry here in the U.S., it's really a choice. I'll tell you why I did it. I did it because I wanted to give her an out. Remember, if you can't help somebody, don't make their life worse off than it already is. So I said, okay, if it doesn't work out, which it hasn't, after 8.5 years, we're separated. We've been separated for 4 years. So I got married in America so she could have an easy out. I knew she couldn't afford to pay for an annulment. I certainly wasn't going to pay for it. But I will pay for a divorce if she wants to get it. Getting married over here has an advantage because when she finally does get to your country, America, let's keep it on America, her green card's going to be waiting. That's good or bad, Yo-Yo Joe, because we've got a friend in our Facebook group. He did that. He came here on the 2-week love plan, got married, went back, did the paperwork. About a year passed, enough time for her to be talking to some other Joe online. She comes over to America. 1 week later, she runs off with the other Joe that she met. So it can be good, it can be bad. But that's one of the good things about it. But remember, when you go over there, you still have to apply for her Social Security card. Don't forget that, guys. That's one of the first things you can do. And you can do that without the green card. You can do that with that visa. Once she gets over there, take her to the Social Security office, her and the kids, and get them that Social Security number. Hey, Maine Time, he said, congrats on 50,000. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah. See, I'm not even talking about Democrats and Republicans because, see, we've been fooled with that. The Democratic Party is a party of the KKK. All you got to do is look that stuff up. But history matters to me. But to far too many Americans, history don't matter. It's just what's going on today. I didn't have nothing to do with that 200 years ago. Well, how do you think America came to be if history don't matter? History matters. Hey, Ryan, thanks for that super chat. He said, green cards destroy marriages. LOL, just stay on the island with her. Oh, man. Now, were you married to a Filipina? Is that what that is? Because in some cases it can. And you certainly giving her freedom. You'll know what you got. And Marilyn said this. Once the woman gets what she came for, you're going to know what you got. She's either going to leave or stay. But until she gets what she came for, you're never going to know. Because she's going to play the role. They're very, very good actresses. He said, yes. Okay. So she was. But that's okay. We can't paint all Filipinos. And that's not what I do. I talk about the ones we deal with, specifically the ones I've dealt with. Because most Filipinos don't deal with us. But there is a tiny fraction of Filipinos that do. They're the ones on the dating sites. And 98% of us, I'm going to even say 99% of us, meet the woman we're with on a dating site. Very few that didn't. He says, I can't imagine bringing one back here. She would just get infected with the thinking. Well, it don't take long. It usually happens when you take her to her first Catholic Mass. In every city, the Filipinos, they have their Catholic Mass. They usually share that cathedral with the local officials, and so they'll get it once a month in Louisville. They get it once a month. And so you take her, and it's where she meets everybody. It's Filipinos that's been there for 40 years, 50 years, on to the new. And they talk and everything like that. And she develops a clique out of that. That's where she's going to meet her clique. And maybe a few that haven't been able to make it there for a few weeks, a few months, they'll bring them in. Everybody that my soon-to-be ex-wife associates with, she met them at that cathedral. Yeah, he says, well, the thing about it is we don't know much about politics. It's popularity politics for us. We don't care. All you got to do, go online and look at, if you want to know about some of these politicians, especially the Clintons and things like that. Listen to these uh, investigative reporters whose job it is to really go through all the mess that these politicians are involved in, and you would be shocked at some of the stuff you would learn. Like, I used to watch Christopher Hitchens a lot before he died, and man, was he good at exposing these politicians and stuff. Yeah, the 2-week love plan. That's what he had. Yeah. And where you come here, you meet the girl, she rocks your world. You go back, you convinced this is the best thing that ever happened to me. Okay. And then you do the paperwork. You don't know her. You can't get to know her online. Okay. But then imagine how serious marriage is. We were together for 4 years before I even thought about bringing her over there. It was only when my son was born did I even have thoughts of bringing her over. But until then, because she said she didn't want to come. I don't know who got in her ear. Somebody got in her ear. And then all of a sudden she wanted to come over there like yesterday. But it was 4 years. And I thought I knew everything that I needed to know about her. And for 4.5 years, everything went well. Until I said, well, let's move back to the Philippines. I'm ready to get rid of this rat race. Let's put this 4-year plan into action that we've talked about for 4 years. See? And that's when, the shit hit the fan. Let's be honest. But to her, to her defense, imagine moving from the Philippines to America. Of course, you're going to fall in love with America. And that's what she did. And she was gone for 6 months and wanted to go back. Well, I'm sorry. She didn't say, hey, let's go back. She just said, I'm going back. So I guess she thought, well, I'm going back with her. But no, I didn't. Ryan says, let me see. Ryan, thanks for that super chat. He says, 5 years married, found out she cheated while I was deployed. Oh, okay. I don't paint all Filipinos like my ex-wife, which is why I still enjoy the Philippines. Thanks for that super chat, man. Thanks for clearing that up. Okay, can somebody put my email back up there again? I tell you guys, the 360, but really it's the example I'm setting over here, right? It's like, this is a great option for us. Don't miss that. Don't miss that. A lot of times people miss that. I'm still saying, hey, come on over here. I'm just saying, be better prepared. Do a lot more homework than what I did and what others did. Or you're going to pay the consequences. I'm an insurance agent, and I should have known better about the full disclosure. I didn't even do that on myself. I'm telling you the full disclosure so you can make a better informed decision. Isn't that what you want? Or do you want me to just talk about all y'all want to talk about? And if you don't believe me, go look at the views on these videos. You want to talk about relationships and you want to talk about sex. I'm not going to do it. You're not going to pigeonhole me like that. I'm not going to sell out like that. I'd rather get my little 3,000 to 7,000 views and be happy that I'm giving good content. Because y'all blowing these channels up, man, they're not saying nothing. Nothing that I couldn't say in 5 seconds. But that's what y'all want. And that's okay, because a lot of YouTube is entertainment. But you're not going to come over here, get rolled, and then blame it on me. Justin Beatty, He said, have a plan B and C in the Philippines. I had a girl change her attitude on me overnight. He says, have a plan B and C. Wow. Hey, Ninth House Aries, thanks for that super sticker. Christian Taylor, thanks for that super chat. He said, blessings to you and your family and the channel. Wish you great success. Thank you so much. Oh, that's my buddy right here. Danny Jackson. He said, morning, Cal from Thailand. I'm waking up to a tune-up and an oil change. Wow. No lube job? Hey, Ellen, there it is, clinician. There's my email. He said, when's the next meet and greet? I got to get in contact with my buddy Derek Q from Q Adventures. We're going to have it in Cebu this time again. Then next month, we're thinking Cagayan de Oro, because it's a lot of, believe it or not, it's a lot of expats in Cagayan de Oro. But I'll let you know, it's usually at the end of the month. Now, I'm going to have to make this a little bit sooner because we've been invited to Boracay the 28th, 29th, and 30th. We'll be in Boracay. So I've got to, so it'd probably be somewhere like the 26th or somewhere like that. I'll talk to him. I'll let you know. Hey, Ryan, thank you, brother. He says, I enjoy these streams so much, passing on so much knowledge, man. Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate it. Here it is. Just what I've got. There it is, the kosher clinician. Jack Wolfinger says, if you meet the right lady, he says, if you meet the right lady here, it would be wonderful, no matter where you live, but only if you meet the right one. Hard to know without spending time together first. And see, this is it right here. But we won't spend the time that's needed to get to know the lady. We're so infatuated, because Filipinos, they're cute. They're cute as a button, man. And you've been over there, you're coming out one of them long dry spells, and then here she is. You get off the plane and there she is waiting, she's all happy to see you. The guy, I've got a neighbor, he lives in that fancy neighborhood I showed you on my last live stream. He said, Cal, I was sweating and I looked a mess. It didn't care. He said she ran up and threw both her arms around me, welcomed me. And see, they've been together ever since. That's the only woman he's ever had. So if y'all thinking that they don't work the magic on you, they do. He said he just knew she wasn't going to like him. But, man, he said, I was sweating that long trip. I needed a shower, a shave, and everything. He said she ran up and put her arms around me, and the rest is history. He was fortunate, though. What's up, Michael Alexander? Okay, you got it? Yeah. Shochi Toe says, Q Adventures is doing a good job helping some kids and other people, Calvin. I like the man. Yeah, he's a great guy. And, I wrote him the other day and I commended him on the growth of his channel. It's really grown. He's getting a lot of views and rightfully so. Mike Dorsonville says, the problem that we have, we fall in love too quickly with these girls. It took me about 2.5 years to commit to my wife. Yeah, and to be honest with you, it's easy to do. But at least if somebody warns you that, hey, man, this is infatuation, this isn't love, you might want to slow down a little bit buying that real jewelry. Look, if you can't afford silver, buy that yellow stainless steel stuff that they sell at the marketplace and sometimes in the mall you'll see it out there in the middle. Don't be buying real jewelry when you first meet these women because it's not going to work out. Your first relationship's not going to work. Maybe your second or third's not going to work. And there you are out of 50,000 pesos because you're trying to be the Superman, to try to be the big guy on the block. The minute that you leave, she's going to pawn it. And say, how do I know? Because I did it. That's why I'm telling you the stuff. Here I am in 2009. The girl don't even have don't even have a job. Okay. I'm looking at the rings of 16,000 pesos, right? It's a lot of money over here, especially in 2009. Oh, her face is long. She's pouting. I'm like, I'm getting ready to walk out of the jewelry store. And so I go back in, I look at one, it's 23,000. I say, okay, I get that one. I get that one. She's happy, right? I promise you this. By the time I landed in America, she had already pawned it for 5,000. But you know what she told me? Oh, I lost it. You're going to get mad at me. I lost it. You lost it? I haven't been home for 24 hours. How are you going to lose it? I just left. Come to find out, I kept pressing. Yeah. She pawned it for 5,000 pesos. Hey, the poor man's passport guy. Thanks, brother. He says, after 4 months here in the Philippines with constant useful info from your channel and lots of going on, lots of dates, I understand things I never would have understood in a week or a month. Or over there on the couch, poor man's passport guide. Thank you for being honest, because these are the guys who really don't have a clue. They're over there. They sit back, they nitpick us and criticize us when we get over here. The guy said, I think he says, have a nice day. Thank you, have a nice day. He said something profound yesterday. He says, don't beat yourself up. You're going to make mistakes. And you are over here. But I'm from the school, I'm going to persist until I succeed. I'm not going to lose one battle, tuck my tail, and run home. I'm going to get what I came for, man. And I'm not going to leave until I do. And here I am now. I got what I want. Now, could she wake up tomorrow and say, oh, I'm done, get out of here? So what? Okay. I know what to do. Hey, Danny, road to the Philippines. This is my buddy, Danny. He came to the house. He stayed at what's the name of that place? The Small Fry Beach Resort, about 15 minutes from here. My buddy Doug owns that business. He says, heading your way next month. Yeah, man. Time flies, man. Because it's been over a year since I've seen you. And now you're coming back. Well, you came back again, but I didn't see you. Then you're coming back again. Oh, let me hear Mo first. Let's say, Mo says, good morning, Brother Cal. I'm here in the U.S. You know things aren't going well when your woman's friends know your business. Wow. Does that happen in the Philippines? Other women knowing your business? Absolutely. Man, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to do a video on that today, but I said, no, I'm not going to do that. But I was going to make a video about, the sneaky things Filipinos do, right? And one of them is they tell all your business to their friends. They know more about you than you know about you. You're like, what's going on in the bed? They do some sneaky stuff over, and that's one of them. Yeah. I'm sorry, Mo, to break the bad news to you, but women are the same all over the world. But that's something they do over here. Yeah, they'll tell everything. There's people that know about this house that I don't know. Well, hell, they know everything about it. Who the engineer is, how much it costs, how long it took to build it. They don't even watch my channel. But yeah, other women, they know your business over here, man. Jack says that Mo, hello from Jack and Jai, my friend. How are you guys doing? Yeah, they met each other. We were all in the resort together in Iloilo. We had a good time too. Because I know Mo's girlfriend and Jai, they're about the same age. I think they're both like 22 or 23, something like that. Yeah, Rico XXX says they run in the 100-yard dash while some of us are running the marathon. No, I think it's the other way around. We're running the 100-yard dash. We're in a hurry. They're taking their time. Hey, living abroad. He said, hey, Cal and crew, congrats on crossing the 50,000 subs, my man. Well deserved. Thanks, brother. You shot way past me. I don't know what your secret is, man. I remember last May of 2022, I first met you. You only had 3,500 subscribers. Now you're approaching 100,000 subscribers. I'm like, wow. What's his formula? But yeah, Danny, a lot of guys, they hate on Danny too for no reason. They're basically jealous because I met Danny and his girlfriend, and man, he's got a fox, man, and he knows he does. And I think, Danny, that's why those guys don't like you. I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't pay them any attention. But you got a good one, dude. You better hold on to that. You certainly ain't going to get that over in America. Jim Cruz says, don't know about the Philippines, but Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, your girlfriend can divorce you without marriage. Also in 7 U.S. cities without living together. Wow. New statutes. What are you talking about? Like, what do they call that? Common law marriage? I think they got that over here. Now, Moments with Mitch, my fellow insurance agent, he said, Calvin, does anyone know if we still have to have these 24 hours before getting on the international flights? You mean you're talking about the PCR tests and all that? I don't think so. I haven't heard anybody doing that anymore. Yeah, the rumor mill is a national pastime in the Philippines. Yeah, you're gonna. Yeah, and Beach of Life, this girl, I think Beach of Life's girl's 25, but they were close, but they were all about the same age. He was there too. We went to the boulevard. Yeah, I don't think, does anybody know that's landed here? Yo-Yo Joe just got here. It's a couple of guys that just landed. Did y'all have to do that 24-hour PCR test? I don't think you have to do it anymore, but I could be wrong. Okay, 808. Barry says, the Sunshine Shows, I just noticed I was no longer resub, but people check your subscription status. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Thank you. People tell me that all the time. Living abroad said, yeah, but you have a loyal fan base, my man. I do, man. I've got the best subscribers on YouTube because we built a community living abroad. We know how important it is. We need each other, man. That's a fact. Eddie Sanders says, I had told a potential friend terms for renting my mom's place and literally got there today and everyone knew the details. And then she tried to play dumb and finally admitted it. Yeah, they're going to tell your business, man. It's just something that you have to deal with. It's like, okay, you got something to weigh it up against. I'm not going to deal with this. I'm going to deal with Big Susie over there because a guy sent me a picture of Big Susie, but this Big Susie was good looking. I put it on my Patreon page, and guys was like, damn, Big Susie look good. Yeah, but it's her attitude I'm worried about. And let me take a second to thank the guys who joined my Patreon page. I've got like 24 members, but man, that says a lot when people do that. When they support you in that way. It really does. Living abroad, you're right. I do have a loyal fan base. And I'm proud of that. Okay, he said, I was never tested for anything when I visited a few weeks ago. You fill out an online form and you're good to go. Okay, now you do have to fill out that online form thank you, Ryan, for this. Moments with Mitch. What's that called? I forgot what that was called. He said you're a local celebrity, Cal. No, man, I'm just a regular guy. Believe it or not, man. And I think that's my attraction. He says, it's always positive with you, Cal, and that's greatly needed nowadays. Thanks, man. Guys tell me I'm negative here lately because I give them the 360. I'm not being negative, man. If I didn't like the Philippines, if it wasn't everything I said it was, I wouldn't be here, man. Trust me. You know, Geminis, we get bored. But especially me, I'm not going to be a fake. I'm not going to stay somewhere if I'm not 100% happy. I'm 100% happy here. There's so many other places I could go. But right here, right now, today, this is the best place for me. I love the chance. I had 2 coworkers come down with COVID last week. It's so weak now that it was hardly even noticeable. You know, we was in Iloilo City for the meet and greet. Now, they're strict, man. You still have to wear a mask. I went into the bank, right? And I'm just, because here you don't need a mask in St. Carlos City. They wouldn't let me in. Luckily, the guard, this is how, they're hustlers over here, man. He had some mask in his drawer. He was selling for 5 pesos each. But I had no idea, man. If he didn't sell me that, I would have had to go down to the store and buy that, the mask. Yeah, they're strict in Iloilo, but it's clean as a whistle down. It's really a nice place, man. I just don't like cities, man. I don't like to live in cities. I get landlocked, man, and I can't deal with it. Especially in the Philippines. I got to be around the water, man. I got to be around the beaches. That's therapeutic for me. I'm not just saying that, man. We're 75% water. We have an affinity to the water. And when I'm in Sikihor versus when I'm here, it's like I'm 2 different people. Okay, he may have taken the shot. No, it doesn't matter. I don't think you need that anymore. Now, see, he says, I'm loving it here in the Philippines. I know you are. You either love it or you don't. There's no in between. Because if I'm just, if I'm lukewarm on this place, why would I be 8,000 miles from home? And that sun is shining. The people always smiling. Whether it's real or not, I take it as being real. It just does something to me. He said, do I ever miss Kentucky? I do, because I miss my family, I miss my friends, but I know it's really going to be short-lived. I got Booby keeps me grounded here. See, my kids in America, my youngest son, he's 11, and my oldest daughter's 28. Okay, they're all set over there, okay. I can't really leave here, man, because Booby's here. Now, once I get Booby situated, then I may strike out. But my number one focus now is to get her CRBA. Is to give Booby that, her U.S. citizenship. And once I do that, then, everything's off the table. Then I'm liable to leave the next day. But that's my number one focus right now. Mopar said, what months do you suggest a first-time visitor coming from the U.S. to tolerate the heat there? I'm addicted to aircon, so I'm concerned about that. Anything I can do to prepare for the climate? Not really. Now, if you come anywhere from like June to, I'm going to say February, you're going to be okay because the rainy season gives you a break. It's not as humid once it starts raining. But depending on where you're going, Mopar, you got to watch the weather. If you're in Bico and those places like that, what's up, Lady, Tacloban Lady, Billaron, Samar. That's the only problem about coming during the rainy season, but the humidity is not as bad. But one of the reasons I'm here is because the average temperature is 82 degrees. There is some things you can do. You can come out early in the morning. Watch the local people here. They'll show you what to do. Come out here early in the morning or in the evening. He said, Slick Bud said, hey, Cal, do you still get asked if you know LeBron? No, but I was asked did I know Kobe Bryant. And the guy was dead serious. I thought he was playing. But he was dead serious. He was waiting for my answer. Joe T says, I loved your meet and greet event. Great seeing all the experts have a great time. It is, man. I mean, the people who come to the meet and greets, these are the real expats, man. I mean, really, they are. These are the guys who, they're just outstanding individuals. And I can say that over and over. But yeah, I don't understand my damn, there must be too many gadgets plugged up, but I'm starting to hang, guys. So I'm going to get off here. Sunday, we go to the store anyway. I want to thank y'all so much for your super chats, your super stickers, your thumbs up, all your support for Sunshine Shoulders, man. I never take that for granted, man. You know, I'm serious about that. This is y'all's channel. If y'all stop watching me, I'd be nothing. Oh, wow, this guy, he was checking in from Korea, South Korea, now Singapore. But help somebody today if you can, man. If you can't, don't make their life any worse off than it already is. Go and check out this story by Scott McMahon. It's going to change your life, man. It's going to change the way you think about traveling overseas. Excuse me. Not to discourage you, but just to know what you're up against. We can't keep telling these fairy tale stories, guys. I'm shouting out to my other YouTubers, man. We can't, we got to give people the 360. You can do that without being disrespectful to the people of the culture. Just tell a story like this every now and then. But they're too busy worrying about the age gap, man. Nobody cares about that over here. That's my buddy Jack Wolfanger. He's got a beautiful wife. Hell, she's 23, he's 60. Nobody gives them a second look over here because they don't look cringy. They really don't. But we got to quit worrying about stuff like that and putting that above everything that really matters. Take a second, man, to check on this stuff. No speedy trial rights. No due process rights over here, guys. Isn't that good? At least you know that now. No right to a reasonable bail. So if you get locked up for something, you may languish in jail, and then by the time you get sentenced, they're going to give you less time than what you've been in jail. So they just let you out. Or if you're lucky enough, like the guy from Belgium who got charged with violating the Republic Act 7610, he made bail and got the hell out of here. And he was innocent. He's never been back to the Philippines. But thank y'all so much. I am going to play my theme song one more time because the guy said it's okay. It's part of my channel, guys, and I guess he saw the error of his ways. He's like, this is ridiculous. Why would I have him pay that girl? Now, if he says, hey, Cal, my girl's struggling over there. Can you send her a couple of 1,000 pesos? I would do that. Oh, wow. He says another vlogger arranged a meet and greet in March in Angeles, but didn't even bother turning up. Calvin never disrespect his subscribers in that way. No, I wouldn't do that. Wow. So you know what's going to happen if he ever tries that again, right? They're not going to come. That's like crying wolf, man. I'm not going to do that. I tell Booby about that all the time. Booby screaming, hollering, you come in there, and she starts laughing. I'm like, you're crying wolf, Booby. Now, y'all owe this to I Love LaChine.
It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground.
Thank y'all, everybody. Go check out my video, man. Give you some tips on how to save money on these women over here, because they're our biggest expense. And let's face it, you're going to spend money on women when you get over here. We probably spend more money in the Philippines than men do anywhere else. Yeah, happy 4th of July. It's coming, guys.